What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak your mind sports talk. Alright, check it out. Back in action, guys. UFC info. Let's get it. So, Jon Blachowicz. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Alright, guys, so Jon Blachowicz proposes a four-man light heavyweight tournament. And of course, we know what this comes down to. Jon Jones's belt, right? But we need to understand something here in a tournament. When you partake in these tournaments, it's any bracket, just like any other tournament. And it's a lot tougher than singular fights, bro. Because you have to fight these people to continue to move forward in the tournament. And there is a limited amount of time. You and your manager can't choose the fight dates and the fight times. These tournaments have to happen in a certain amount of time. And so my take on this is Jon Blachowicz understands that 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to beat Jon Jones. So the best way to remove that belt from him is to get him involved in a tournament for the belt. Now, here's the thing. How does that benefit Jon Jones? There's no benefit for that in Jon Jones. Jon Jones just had a record-breaking win in UFC 247. Now he can add on to that and build onto that record. So a tournament, which is very risky, how does this benefit Jon Jones? It only benefits the guys trying to get that belt. Because at the end of that tournament, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jon Jones versus someone. But Jon Jones is going to be beat down a little more than he usually is. Jon Jones is going to have less of a camp, less of a time to recover, a little more than he usually does. So this only gives the guys that are dogs, that are young, that are coming up, that are fighting a lot, it only gives them an advantage. It gives no advantage to Jon Jones, who's the reigning champion, who has not been beaten in the UFC. He only lost in the disqualification, which means it was self-inflicted. Not something that, he did to get beat up or lose the fight. He hit Matt Hummel while he was down. Big mistake. Disqualified. That's the only loss he has on his record. The whole ordeal with Daniel Cormier, guys, that was overturned. Don't blame no one but Vada. Picograms is picograms. USADA and Vada came up with the idea that it was picograms. It did not affect his win over Daniel Cormier. So if Vada and USADA says that this person is found guilty and you accept that, then you have to accept the fact that Jon Jones did not have the edge over Daniel Cormier in that second fight. He just whooped his ass. Okay? So you guys have to understand, Jon Blachowicz's proposal for a 4-man light heavyweight tournament only benefits the other 3 guys in the tournament. It doesn't benefit Jon Jones. So this is something that I'm not sure that Dana White will subscribe to, and I'm pretty sure that Jon Jones won't subscribe to this. But ultimately, it comes down to Dana White, because this is not boxing. Dana White has total autonomy in the UFC. He is the dictator. He is the head honcho. He is the main chief. What Dana White says goes, or you will starve. So if Dana White decides to have a 4-man tournament for Jon Jones' light heavyweight bout, that's just what Jon Jones is going to have to do. Conor McGregor is still on edge. His next fight, in my opinion, is going to be either Manny Pacquiao, Jorge Masvidal, or Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, all of those guys can beat Conor McGregor. He can beat all of those guys too, except Manny Pacquiao. Conor McGregor's not beating Manny Pacquiao in the boxing ring. I don't expect that fight to be the one that's going to happen. I actually expect it to be a Khabib fight after Ferguson, or he'll stick to the UFC and either have the trilogy with Nate Diaz, or jump in there with Jorge Masvidal. Manny Pacquiao is a lost cause. Now, that's top of the line money because Khabib Nurmagomedov or Kamaru Usman are the only two that would probably top that money in the UFC. So at the end of the day, his biggest money fight, where he'll make the most money, the biggest payday, is definitely with Manny Pacquiao. But his safest fights would probably be with Khabib and Jorge Masvidal. Because he definitely gets beat in a boxing match versus Manny Pacquiao. Anderson Silva, which was a much better striker, much better fighter, and he fought at 170. Anderson Silva in his prime would absolutely destroy Conor McGregor. Anderson the Spider Silva was one of the icons of the UFC. He would destroy Conor McGregor. Destroy him. And that was when he was in his prime. Anderson Silva sparred Manny Pacquiao for 3 rounds in his prime. And Anderson Silva came out and admitted it. He said boxing and UFC is a different thing. Guys, you have to remember, Anderson Silva was probably one of the most talented and best strikers that the UFC has ever seen. And he said Manny Pacquiao beat him up clearly for all 3 rounds. What does that tell you about Conor McGregor? He has no chance against Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao will beat the hell out of Conor McGregor. So his best options, in my opinion, are Khabib Nurmagomedov or Jorge Masvidal, because I don't think he beats Usman either. I think Usman, after what he showed me against Colby Covington and that high work rate that Colby Covington has, I don't think Conor McGregor can hurt Usman. And I think Usman stops him. So his best options, in my opinion, are Khabib Nurmagomedov, Jorge Masvidal, or either Nate Diaz in that trilogy. But stay away from Manny Pacquiao. You know? And so, with all of that being said, guys, Jon Blachowicz and this ridiculous request to go into a 4-man tournament with Jon Jones, I don't even see Dana White forcing that issue because he still has Conor McGregor on the wraps. Now, if Conor McGregor was to lose terribly and lose stock and everything like that, you may see some interest in Dana White in that fight. But then I say that it could still be derailed because if Conor McGregor does lose horribly, which is why I brought him into all of this, who's your last star of the UFC? You already set DJ packing. Demetrius Johnson, he traded him to 1. He already screwed over Chris Cyborg. Amanda Nunes is not a huge star. His main 2 stars in the UFC right now, Conor McGregor, actually it's 3. Conor McGregor, Israel Sandra, and Jon Jones. Jon Jones being almost right there with McGregor. McGregor clearly the biggest star, but if he loses stock, it's Jon Jones. So does Dana White want to risk that by forcing him into a tournament? I doubt it. So Jon Blachowicz, good attempt to have a better chance at beating Jon Jones, but I really seriously doubt that Dana White puts this together, and I'm pretty sure that Jon Jones will reject it. If they want to beat him, get up in the ring and beat him. And because you guys can't do that, you can hate him for the picograms. You can say that he's, losing a step or 2, which I don't think that's the truth. Just guys are getting better. But you cannot beat him down and try to get a win that way. And that's all a tournament would do. So I just wanted to talk about that right quick to my UFC fans. Hit that subscribe and hit that like button. We back in business, baby. And y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.